We're live, you guys. We're live. Hi, everyone. I'm really pleased to be connecting with you all tonight. So the truth is, I wasn't going to do a video just because that Lionsgate portal, that was a lot. And I know that we transmitted a lot of light codes. And sometimes it's good to let them sink in, like season in, and really allow yourself to immerse and bask in that new glow. So tonight I'm going to keep it pretty light. The first thing I want to say, thank you, Tatum. The first thing I want to say is that I had done a video titled 3D and 5D Simplified. This is going to be an addition to that. And I'm going to mostly focus on 4D because a lot of people always ask me, what is 4D? So I already have 2 videos on YouTube. You can go back and watch them. Explanation of 3D, 4D, and 5D. And then the latest one was 3D and 5D Simplified. But the reason I'm jumping on tonight, that I'm dropping in with you guys, is because the 9 were telling me that a lot of people are going to be grappling with exiting 4D, or I want to say crossing the bridge of the 4D. Think of 4D as a rainbow bridge, okay? And 4D can be equated to the astral plane. So when you guys have heard me talk, or any other channeler talk about the astral plane, it's a plane where every single thing that you can imagine exists. So you have dragons that dwell there. You have demons that dwell there. You have anything that you could imagine lives in 4D, all right? It's the realm that you access when you sometimes meditate or when you have a lucid dream. And 4D, once we awaken, most of us start to move ourselves into 4D, but it can take a really long time to vibrate yourself into 5D, a really long time. The vision I'm getting now is, you know that ski lift? I don't know if any of you ever skied. I did when I was young. You're on a ski lift and you're going to the top of the summit, and you have all these forces that are trying to pull your lift down because they don't want you to be transported to 5D, okay? 4D is the best of the best of the best training grounds because you're kind of like a blind man or a blind woman walking with blind faith, and all you have is this intuitive technology, your heart center, coupled with your discernment, okay? That's all you have. And your angels and your guides, or your higher self, which I like to call your original self, your team is guiding you through this technology. And it goes beep, 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 beep. And whenever you're out of alignment, you're going to feel a certain type of way because you're not in sync with your higher self. And that's their way to get you to U-turn. So I've always kind of likened 4D to being, thank you for the donation, I see you, 369. I've always likened 4D to being almost like a tunnel system, all right? Imagine that you're in a prison cell and you're escaping the jail. You're escaping that entire prison. Well, there's a tunnel system and you have to crawl your way out and into 5D. So when we first have an awakening, your consciousness comes online. So your higher consciousness comes online. In 2011, I was shown everything that there is, but my physical body hadn't gone through the ascension. So there's the awakening and then there's the ascension. They're not the same thing, okay? You first awaken and then you start your ascension process. You awaken and then you ascend. The awakening is an awakening of your higher consciousness. It comes online. And you have inner sight now. It's been activated. You can see things, you can foresee things, but your physical body still has that programming held within it, the 3D programming. So then you go through a tug of war. It's a tug of war, like that game we used to play, tug of war. And you have these forces pulling you back and forth and back, and you're rocking back and forth and back because you know instinctively that you're ready to move yourself into 5D, but you've never really seen 5D. Okay, even though you're a fifth dimensional being, you may not have seen 5D in your physical incarnation. So what happens is all of that programming that's in your body is going to fight tooth and nail to keep you in 3D. But as I say this, the nine are saying, well, the programs aren't necessarily keeping you in 3D because you're a being of authority. You're a sovereign being. So you have to carry that sort of authority. Nothing is doing anything to you from one perspective. Have we been hijacked? Has our DNA been degraded? Yes, that's true from one perspective. That was the dark wizardry, the control structures, the systems of dominion and having power over us. Yes? So that's true from one viewpoint. From a different viewpoint, those 3D programs aren't necessarily trying to keep you in 3D necessarily. It's just that you still have a tight grip on that reality because it's too scary to move into a foreign territory that is actually who you are and what you are. So 5D is going to feel as though it's foreign to you when really it's where you came from, it's who you are. And once you land on 5D, on that fifth dimensional landscape, you have access to all the dimensions. So you become a multidimensional being. And 5D is a version of Earth that is here now. I talked about that in my last video. So this video kind of correlates to Universe Wow Me as well. So if you haven't seen Universe Wow Me, I would encourage you to watch that too. So 4D is like this tunnel system. And you're kind of like a pendulum that's swinging back to 3D because it's familiar to you. And then you're like, ooh, but I want to be here. But no, wait, I'm afraid to be here. I'm going to go back there. And now I want to go back here, but I'm afraid. See, it's kind of like that. You swing back and forth and forth and back. And what just came to me now is that because you're in the dimension where 3D and 5D both exist, there's like a spiritual battle. Where does this battle stem from? It stems from the older forces, meaning that third dimensional matrix energy, those different forces that were rooted in lack, in disrespect, in dishonor, in trying to manipulate everything, in trying to get your way with people, in being in your ego. So 3D is ego. And I talked about this in 3D and 5D simplified. And then 5D, it's all pure. There's zero lack, none. So an example that's coming to me now is like 4D would be like, I know I'm supposed to tip this person more. And I know this, I have the knowingness that I'm supposed to do that, but I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to forego and I'm not going to do it today. That's kind of 4D, where you've already been informed as to what you need to do to vibrate yourself into 5D fully. And when I say vibrating yourself into 5D, I mean your body has to come with you. You have to anchor your physical form into the fifth dimensional crystalline matrix system, the new grid system. So imagine a realm where all these different creatures exist. Bats that have like human faces and demons that have red horns and unicorns that look green. And you have everything that we've ever imagined lives in 4D. And you're this blind man or a blind woman trying to crawl out of 4D or trying to cross the rainbow bridge. We call it the rainbow bridge. And the only thing that you can depend on is your heart. And through that, your angels are constantly telling you, hey, don't be afraid. We've got you. Keep leaning in, keep leaning in, keep leaning in. And sometimes you might regress because it's too scary. And I've gone through that too. And I still go through my moments. I remember when I used to struggle with all my gym stuff. I'm so much better. I'm a different person now. But when I wouldn't go to the gym, okay, so I knew I wasn't supposed to go to the gym. Because for a while, when you awaken, you have to relax your entire muscular structure so that those programs can be released from within you. But if you're still gripping onto your old ways and your rigidity, then you're not allowing for your body to dispel these energies. They are 3D energies. So deep down, I already knew I'm not supposed to go to the gym today. I'm supposed to call upon Archangel Raphael and go through a healing, right? And I was already healed consciousness-wise because, again, my consciousness had already seen everything, but my body didn't believe it, so it had to play catch-up. 4D is a place where your body plays catch-up. It has to catch up to the frequency that you've already achieved consciousness-wise. So there's usually a tug of war because your ego self, your human aspect, doesn't want to skip the gym. I didn't want to skip the gym. I'm like, but my body's going to change and things are going to look different. And the entire time my guides were like, you're going to look healthier because you're going to be more relaxed about life. So all of the muscles in your face have to relax. They have to loosen. All of the muscles in your body have to loosen in order for that 3D programming to be uninstalled, in order for you to get deprogrammed. Now, that doesn't mean you have to skip the gym every day. It just means that on the day where you skip, whatever it is that you do, it could be placing a call to your twin flame and you know you're not supposed to. It could be calling a friend that used to be toxic for you, and all it did was bring about heart pain and heart sickness, and eventually you let them go and now you want to reach out again. These are all thoughts that are trying to bring you back. They're pulling you back into 3D. So you kind of have to starve them. You have to go on a spiritual detoxification and trust. And it's very scary because all of your thoughts are going to say, I call them intrusive thoughts. They can also be degrading thoughts. They can be belittling thoughts. They can be negative thoughts. They can be fearful thoughts. All of those thoughts are going to tell you, ooh, you're going to look disfigured. Ooh, you're going to get fat. Ooh, you're going to get too skinny. Ooh, people aren't going to like you anymore. Ooh, you won't be attractive anymore. You have all these thoughts running in your mind. Ooh, I'm going to be single forever. It's like a chatterbox in there. So there's so many different waves coming at you. It's like a radio station, and you're getting bombarded by all these energies. Who you were for most of your life, right? Being conditioned by your family, by everything around you, and who you know yourself to be. And you're grappling. You're kind of wrestling with that energy. And the only thing that you're wrestling is yourself, because you're still in resistance to this 5D New Earth reality, which is joy, which is an altruistic reality, which is heaven on earth. 5D is heaven on earth. 3D is an unconscious reality. It's what can I get from you? What can I take from you? It's the I'm going to be nice to you this week because I need something from you next week. That's 3D. It's all a game of control. Who can you dominate? Okay? Or who will you allow to dominate you so that you can then go cry to your friends and play the victim? All of that stuff is 3D. It's duality at its finest. It's I'm going to keep reenacting these stories. Okay? I'm going to keep producing different renditions of the same song so that I can stay in victimhood. 3D is a victim reality. 4D is where you know, okay, wow, I've had an awakening. I can see now. I have foresight. I have inner vision. But now I have to get my body on board with what I know to be true. And a lot of us are still reluctant to do so. We're like, I don't know, because my body's not going to look the same. I don't know, right? Because we can't see what's on the other side of that. We have an idea because in a way the veil's been removed and we were shown, like a lot of people have had spontaneous Kundalini awakenings. I did. So I was shown everything, but I wasn't looking for that awakening. So I wasn't ready to awaken from one perspective. So my body was still very filled with gunk and junk. And it was all, I want to say it was very rigid. I was very rigid as a person. So then every day you wake up and you hear a new voice. That new voice is kind of like the combination of all of your guides, all of your higher aspects, all of the ascended masters that preceded you, your predecessors, everyone that came before you. that already landed on 5D and is now giving you the instruction manual to also get there yourself. And you're like, okay, no, that's enough. It's kind of like dipping your feet in the water and you're like, that's too cold, I'm out. And then the next day you're like, ooh, I think I can do this a little bit. And you get 2 toes in there. You're like, okay, that's enough for today. And then another toe, and that's enough for today. So you're dipping your feet in the water, but you then get cold feet, right? Isn't that perfect? It's a perfect analogy. You get cold feet and then you back out or you take a step back. So 4D is that place where you're going to get all the spiritual warfare of all of your past aspects. And your past aspects isn't just you, by the way. It's the collective unconscious. It's all of the thoughts that people have entertained over all of eternity, throughout eternity, right? This spans way back. All the fearful thoughts from your ancestors in the 1700s, the 1800s, and all those thoughts are feeling threatened by your departure because then they're not going to be able to be housed by you. You're not going to be able to be a host to those old energies anymore. Does that resonate with you guys? So the idea is, think of 4D as a rainbow bridge. And it's definitely a rainbow bridge because it's very colorful. That would be an understatement to say it's colorful. Everything you can envision indwells that realm. Everything. And new things are always being generated as well. So it's like a never-ending realm of all these different beings and creatures and things that would make no sense to the logical mind, but that still exist. Okay? It can also be discarnate beings, beings that have transitioned but are trying to stick around. So oftentimes when you watch porn, for instance, or when I'm just going to use that as an example because it's an extreme example and I like extreme examples. If you watch porn, there might be an entity in the room with you that is in 4D, in the astral plane, and while you're getting off, they're getting off. So these beings will take your energy. They will siphon your energy. And again, that's one presentation, is that they're beings. The other presentation is that they're frequencies. They're different ingredients in the soup of creation, which is of God. So everything is a derivative of God, the light and the dark. So we don't want to place judgment on anything. But to bear in mind that the 4D is a realm where everything exists. It's a wide range. So imagine now that you're on one side of the bridge, you have all the 5D angels and every other human who has transcended 3D and 4D that are waiting for you. It's an actual grid system. And they're like, hey, we get that you're scared, but just take a leap of faith. Take a leap of faith. We've got you. And you have like 100,000 hands outstretching their arms saying, come on, we love you. We've got you. You're never going to live in lack again. Ever. You'll never have to worry about money again. You'll never have to do this. But evidently, if someone leaves their job because they've had an awakening and they feel like they don't belong there anymore, like that job isn't compatible for them, like that job isn't a match, well, yes, they're awake, but then they might be afraid that money's not going to come in. That's 4D. And it's your greatest training ground because, oh, this just came to me now. I came across a video on YouTube recently where this little girl was fighting her coach, like she was preparing for a boxing match, I think, or kickboxing, and she had a blindfold on. That's 4D. She's strengthening her spiritual muscles without her 5 senses so that she can be a spiritual beast when she takes the blindfold off. I love that. Did that resonate with you guys? So it's like you learn how to train your 6th sense. You learn how to train your psychic awareness because you're not relying on your 5 senses, your hearing and your sight and all of this. And you really, 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 really I want to say you really hone in on your skill set. And then once the blindfold is removed, then you're completely impervious. It's like wearing a raincoat and the rain can't come in anymore. It's impermeable. So you become impervious to negative energy. You become impervious to it all. Why? Because you've integrated it. When you were afraid, having left 3D, you didn't chase and try to get another job. You sat in that fear. You sat in that fear and you said, I'm going to be patient here. And I'm going to integrate my fear. And I'm going to come into more trust with my universe that I will be provided for. That my guides will supply me with everything that I need to be of service to humanity. So 3D is service to self. 4D is wanting to be of service to others and knowing that you will be of service to others because everything's already been shown to you. But for some reason, your body isn't really on that ship with you yet. It's like, really? But why should I tip extra? So you're still questioning. In 5D, you don't even think about it. You hear your guide say, tip this person $20, and there's no lag. You get it? There's no lag. I don't even question things. If I see someone that's radiating light, I will tip them. That's just how I operate. There's no more lag. But when I was in 4D, I was like, why? Why should I? You know, like you're still suspicious. You're like, can I really trust you guys? It's kind of like when you enter a relationship with someone and they're a really good person. This is really good. I didn't even know that I'd be talking tonight, but they're a really good person and they're the opposite of the last person you dated. The last person you dated was like apathetic. They were like a narcissist. They were pushing you away constantly, making you feel like you weren't lovable, all of this. Then this person waltz into your life like a godsend and is like, I love you. And they're showing you that they're the epitome of security and safety. And you're like, I don't know. I don't know that I trust you yet. I don't know. I don't know that I can go there because you're still projecting some of your stuff onto them. And the thing is, you cannot skip the line. You can't just teleport from 3D to 5D. It doesn't work that way. Your guides need you to understand how you got to 3D. Ooh, that's good. Your guides need you to understand how you got to 3D in the first place. How you allowed for your mind to get hijacked. How you got to the bottom of that dark abyss. They need to show you that, right? One of my quotes is, teachers study education, doctors study medicine, healers study darkness. 4D is where you study darkness. And by darkness, I don't mean this in, I don't mean this in a disparaging way or in a critical way. I mean darkness being representative of the older realities that are not going to be able to fit in 5D. In 5D, we can tell just by scanning someone or even without scanning someone if they still smell like a skunk. Like if there's any part of them that's trying to weasel their way in, we know because we're a collective. Oftentimes when I channel, I say we, because it's not me, it's we are a collective. And every person who's made it to 5D is now a guardian for New Earth. They had to go through all those different initiation phases to eventually arrive into this new reality. There's an understanding, there's a recognition. There's a recognition. So you can't teleport from 3D to 5D. What can happen though is that your fifth dimensional operating system can come online. And then once it's online, it's gonna have to get rid and delete all the files that are not a match to that new operating system. The 5D is a crystalline operating system. When you start to move into 60, 70, 80, 90, you go into plasma. Plasma is where all the magic happens. 5D is where all the purity happens. It's a Christed consciousness. There's no disrespect. None. It's pure love, and pure love doesn't always let you have your way. It doesn't, because it's not that you're personally trying to teach someone. That's not what it is, because that would be like you putting yourself on a pedestal, and thinking that you're better or superior to someone else. That's not what it is. You are part of a collective. So God, source, creator, and all of the angels, you're now a conduit for that energy. So if someone's trying to manipulate you, you don't subscribe to that anymore, because the angels are showing them, hey, the doors aren't closed. You're closing the doors on yourself. I'm going to repeat that. The door of 5D, the gateway to 5D, isn't closed. You're shutting it on yourself, because you're still trying to enter that doorway with your old baggage. And you need to unpack that baggage. And where do you unpack that baggage once you've awakened? In 4D. So I had a client this morning, and I thought it'd be fun to share, to take her story, tweak it into a completely different story, to kind of demonstrate what I mean here. So thank you, Zip. I appreciate you. And everyone who's been donating, thank you. Thank you very much. So, all right. So there was this girl. I'm going to tell a story. There was a girl, and she had decided to terminate a romantic relationship that was disempowering her. And again, it's not the relationship that's disempowering you. It's that there's a predisposition within us, if you will, the unconscious programming that causes us to think that someone's disempowering us. We allow ourselves to get abused. We allow ourselves to get mistreated. We allow for that lack. 3D is a lack-based reality, okay? So this girl decided to complete that relationship. And she was in a really peaceful place. She felt like she had spiritually sanitized herself, like she was pure again, like she was coherent, clear-minded, able to create again. And then one day, so she was completely over this guy. And one day she decides to go to the club. That's not really what happened, but we'll use that for the story. She decides to go to the club. And who does she bump into? This guy. She bumps into this guy. And she was feeling really good about herself. Really good. She's like, I'm over this person, and I feel like there's no more karma between us. Like I've tied up those loose ends, and I can now approach this person in a civil way and have a great conversation. So she did. And they struck up conversation, had a really wonderful talk. And she had blocked him on Instagram, which is fine. You do what you got to do to empower yourself. Amen? Okay. So she had blocked him on Instagram. And then he was like, hey, like, why? Oh, no, he didn't say anything. She decided, I'm going to unblock him when she left. Well, sure enough, who slides into her DM that same night? The guy, right? Now, up to this point, she was feeling so clear. Like everything was fine and dandy. She's already graduated into more of a fifth dimensional mindset. And then this guy slides into her DM and says, what are you up to tonight? Let's go out. Okay? Or the following night, whatever. She accepts. She accepts the invitation. So she opens up a door for the enemy to work against her again. All right? You guys are with me? The enemy being that 3D matrix, all that lack stuff, not able to move on, not able to let things go, not able to release the past and just move forward. I have this quote that goes, stop looking back. You don't need a rear view mirror when you have wings. Stop looking back. You don't need a rear view mirror when you have wings. You can fly now, okay? You don't need a rear view. You need a rear view mirror when you have a car, not when you have wings and you're a earth angel. So obviously this girl made an exception. You guys, don't make exceptions for people. If there's one thing I can stress tonight, don't make exceptions. Someone messaged me yesterday on my email and said, hey, is there any way that you can do a reading for me and I can book it separately than Instagram. No, that wouldn't be fair to my tribe. Bottom line. Like, why would that be fair to the people who want a reading with me to make an exception for you? It doesn't work that way. That's 3D. I don't play in those realities anymore. I just don't. Okay? When you get to 60, 70, 80, you don't even respond to those messages anymore because you don't even have that impulse. I can't explain it. You're just not impulse to even respond. Making exceptions gets you in trouble. All right? That should be a quote. So making exceptions gets you in trouble. And I never got it when I was young. And, someone was like, I can't do this for you because if I do it, I'll have to do it for everyone. I get it now. I completely get it. So this girl goes back out with him and they end up kissing. She walks away feeling completely disempowered. Like, what did I do? What did I do to myself? And then she's like, is this guy going to call me back now? And you know what I had to say to her? You asked me that last year. Look at where you are now. You're back at square one. But you're not really at square one. I usually drive a point home and then I bring it back because it's all love here. But what it is that we constantly contaminate ourselves, right? We swim in these muddy waters. And because we're still questioning what God is doing for us, we're still questioning the universe having our back. And we go, oh, maybe I was a bad girlfriend. Maybe I need to reopen or revisit this relationship. And I talked about this in an Instagram video. Your universe responds to your vibrational frequency. All right. The frequency that you dwell at is going to draw to self its match. I'll repeat that. The frequency that you dwell at is going to draw to self, to you, its match. So you were doing an amazing job. Everything was hunky-dory. Everything was crystal clear. You were like a fizzy 7-Up. And then you mixed in some Coca-Cola. No one drinks Coca-Cola mixed in with 7-Up. I never have. So you dirtied your waters. And now you're asking a disempowered question like, is he going to call me back? That relationship cannot be revived. It's done. And if I had any words for, because I've done this many times, you guys, many times. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling sad. I'll pick up my phone. Hey, what are you up to tonight? We should hang out, blah, 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 blah. And then you question if it could have been different. I did that, but I stopped playing that game years ago because it leads to nothing. It's a dead end. And my best friend and I always say, you can't raise the dead. If something's dead, it's dead. 5D would be like meeting the guy or seeing the guy at the club, being very cordial, walking away, and you're not even thinking about what happened 2 minutes ago because you're in a different dimension now. 5D is moment to moment to moment, and every moment doesn't necessarily thread to the other moment. See, what 3D and 4D humans do, we chain everything together. Ooh, that must connect to this, and this must connect to that, and it doesn't work that way. 5D is you're clear, you're pure, and you're so connected to your inner voice, to that innate wisdom, that you're not thinking about what's happening tomorrow or what just happened 5 minutes ago because you feel so full from within. Okay? So what this girl did is she disempowered herself again. And again, we don't judge ourselves for that, ever. Because my belief is that she still had that weakness within her. It wasn't a weakness. What it is a program that still doubts itself. And the ego, these 3D programs are very crafty. They'll sneak right in there. They'll sneak right in there. They're very crafty, which is why you have to be complete. You have to wear those glasses that can see through. It's X-ray vision. You have to have X-ray vision. All right. Now, the other thing I want to say is if you find that you're in a similar position right now, I would invite you to start utilizing your fifth dimensional technology, your light body. Your light body knows everything, okay? Start communicating with it. You can call it your light body. You can call it your guides. You can call it your angels. You can call it your eternal self or your original self or your higher self. Start communicating with your guides and ask them, how would I feel if I met up with this guy tonight? Cool. I think I'd be good if I keep it friendly. Nice. That feels clear. Perfect. How would I feel or what would happen if I met up with this guy, had a moment of weakness and kissed him? Would I regret it? No. Oh, great. You wouldn't regret it. Then maybe you guys are supposed to rekindle something. How would I feel if I kissed the guy and then felt disempowered? Right? The red flag comes up. It's like an alarm system. That's your guides. Don't do it then. Keep integrating. Keep working with that energy until it's completely dissolved. And the next time you see him, you won't feel anything even after you walk away. Nothing. You'll be like, wow, I'm so proud of myself. I feel like a completely different individual. My DNA must have morphed. My DNA shapeshifted, and I'm a completely renewed person now. I'm a renewed person. And that'll happen to you. It's happened to me. I've seen people that I was really attracted to, almost like uncontrollably attracted to them. I'm sure you guys have had that feeling where like you're completely out of whack, you're completely destabilized, and you keep thinking about them. It's like this electricity and you can't stop it. And then I work with myself and I get into my heart space and I'm like, is this my soulmate? No. So what's the point? Blah, blah, blah. And I do all of this work. And when I see them again, it's nothing. Zip zero. I don't feel a thing. That's integration, my friends. Wow, we have 908 people in here right now. So that's my message tonight is 4D is a place where you're going to be under attack. But who's attacking you or what's attacking you? Aspects of yourself in 3D. BS, belief systems, that you adopted as your own, that degraded your DNA, that dumbed you down. So when you exit the matrix, the 3D matrix, those energies don't like it one bit, right? Have you ever been part of a group of friends that gossips a lot? And then when you stop gossiping or you're not their friend anymore, they hate you. Yeah, that's 4D. Or wait, let me rephrase that. 4D would be like if they hate you for leaving the group and you think that you owe them an explanation. That's 4D. Perfect example. 5D is if you leave the group, you've really come to the realization that these people are toxic and you don't care anymore because you're not going to play in that reality anymore. So if they judge you, you don't even feel it. You're done. 4D, you'll still get triggered though. You'll be like, I think I owe them an explanation, or I think that I can maybe be friends with them but still be awake and da, 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 da. You still try to negotiate with yourself, okay? In 5D, there's no need to negotiate because you understand pureness now. You understand generosity. Your ego isn't running the show anymore. Your soul is telling you, your soul is acting on all of that heart-centered energy. So again, 4D, you're like, should I tip this person? And you're like, I think I will. And when you, that's the other thing about 4D. When you tip people more than you should, or what you think they're worthy of, in 4D, when you do it, or when you treat a friend to dinner and you overcome your fear, or that's just a money example, but I can use so many different examples. Another example is like if someone's honking their horn at you on the road and you don't get reactive. In 4D, you would be super excited. You would be celebratory, like, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't get reactive. Oh my God, this is actually happening. I'm awakening and I'm ascending. That's 4D. Oh my God, you call your mom and you're like, I treated my friends to dinner tonight. I'm so proud of myself. I did that too. I was proud of myself because my actions matched my consciousness. Your actions have to match your higher consciousness. You can't say, I'm a higher consciousness being, and then you don't support people around you. There's a mismatch, okay? So vibrationally, there's going to be a misfire. There's going to be a misfire. The universe is like, you're sending us a mixed signal. What do you want? Get clearer, right? Because right now you're on the fence and you have 1 foot in 3D and 5D, and we're asking you to come to 5D or to stay in 3D, but make up your mind. So 4D is a place where you make up your mind. Are you going to go back to your old ways, reopen a relationship, and eventually get married to the wrong person? Because you initiated it when they were supposed to initiate it, or maybe you were just supposed to leave them alone and fully trust. And some people do that all the time. They're in 4D. They start to feel lured into these different temptations. They end up in a relationship by virtue of making it happen, as opposed to letting it happen. Okay? So in 4D, you're going to treat your friends to dinner, and then you're going to be like, oh my God, you won't believe what I did for my friends. And you're celebrating yourself. Once that program's completely out of your body, you'll do these kind deeds, but you won't say anything. You'll donate to people, to things, but you won't say anything. You're not looking for that pat on the back. And again, you're supposed to get those pats on the back in 4D because that's your confirmation that all is well. And you'll also find that in 4D, when you do something nice, there's a very quick return on your investment. Very quick, because your angels are going to try to affirm you and confirm you ASAP. They're going to use that momentum that you created through your physical action. Oh, I like that. They're going to utilize the momentum that you created through your physical action to boost you into 5D. So usually in 4D, when you start to take actions that uninstall those 3D programs, your guides are going to affirm you right away. There's going to be a synchronicity, or someone's going to give you a gift that was worth 10 times the gift that you gave to someone else, because your guides are creating that impetus for you to move into 5D more rapidly. I like that. Angel boosts. They're angel boosts. Thank you, DB Luna. I like that. Thank you. So they're an angel boost. They're an angel boost. But 4D is probably where I feel like it's the dimension that most people who have awakened are in right now. And you have to be really good to yourself and very patient with yourself, because it can take a while. It can take 2 years to get rid of all that programming in your system. All right, because it was embedded in your teeth and in your skin and in your lungs and everywhere, all over your body. So you have to be very good to yourself. All right, on those days where I used to skip the gym, I would be on my bed as if I had angels and demons screaming in my ear. You're going to get fat. You're going to get fat. You're going to be ugly. It was horrible, you guys. Because those 3D friends, so-called friends, the thoughts, their thought forms, didn't want me to leave. They didn't want me to love myself as I am. They wanted my food, because when you host them, they get food from you. And these aspects are our ancestor stuff, all of the limiting beliefs that preceded us. So I had to be really good with myself and say, all is well, you're great, Phil. I would call upon Archangel Raphael and say, Raphael, I really need you to heal me today and remove some of this stuff in me. Really try to pull this stuff out. It was like an exorcism. It feels like an exorcism. That's what it feels like. 4D will feel like all these demons are being exorcised out of you. But then the trick is to not judge yourself. Because as soon as you go into judging yourself, you're refeeding your 3D programming. So it takes longer for you to get out of 3D. So if you find that you are grappling with scenarios right now, because the nine said to me that that's why I came online tonight, because I wasn't going to do a video. But the nine said to me that a lot of people are going to be struggling with past exes, old friends that are going to pop into your mind, and you're like, I really miss that person, and I think that I should reach out because my heart is open. Be really careful with your heart being open. All right. That's what they're wanting me to share with you. Because when your heart is open and you're vibrating higher, you can justify every behavior. You can be like, oh, I feel great. I think I'm going to call my friend now that I had a falling out with. Be very careful with that. Because usually you're just going to open up an old door that was supposed to stay closed. I've done that too. I'm one of those guys that's like, I miss my friend. All of this is stupid. If it was our funeral today, we'd both be crying. So we should just get on the same page already and reconcile. And every time I've done that, it backfires. I kid you not. It backfires every single time because I happened to be vibrating high that day, but it doesn't mean that they were vibrating high. It doesn't mean that they're doing the integration work. So be very careful with that. 3D is going to try to lure you in. It's going to try to make you question yourself. But what you need to know is that there's an entire network of us, fifth dimensional beings, and that includes you, because we're everywhere, right? That are waiting for you, for that part of you that isn't fully entrusting your universe to take care of you. And we have to entrust our universe to fully, entirely provide for us. Okay? So whenever you have those thoughts that come in and tell you should do this or you should do that, or you're going to be without money, that's all 4D stuff. But what you can do is have a little crystal in your pocket, a little ruby, a little, you can have a little labradorite, you can have a little amethyst in your pocket. And every time you feel tempted to give in, pull it out, hang on to it and say, God, just let the storm pass. And when the storm passes, you'll feel that much stronger. And you'll be proud of yourself for not having acted on that impulse. And again, if people are meant to find you again, if people are meant to reconnect with you, they will do that on their own accord. And I think we overcomplicate our lives because we're always trying to make things happen. And that's us still clinging on to old 3D instead of really just letting it all go and saying, I'm ready to be catapulted into that higher timeline. So I hope this helped. It was a lot. We've been on like 48 minutes, you guys. So I want to thank you for being here tonight. Very much so. I'm going to title this Crossing the 4D Rainbow Bridge. I think that's a perfect title. And, as a final message, I just want to say to you that you can't always put toothpaste back into a tube. You just can't. When you finish a toothpaste tube, it's done. You throw it away. You toss it away. It's finished. It would be exhausting to go buy another tube and try to fit that toothpaste into the old tube because it's all smashed up and it's all twisted and it's all bent up. It would be exhausting. So ask yourself, why are you still depleting your energy? When are you going to love yourself enough to say enough? When are you going to love yourself enough to say enough? Quotable, when are you going to love yourself enough to say enough? By the way, all these messages I channel are for me too. That's why I repeat them. But what we do, we have this tendency as humans to self-sabotage. We make strides and we reach new milestones. And then we're like, that's good enough. I think I'm going to go back to my old ways. We do this all the time. And if you do that, don't judge yourself. It's all good. But if you have this innate wisdom that you shouldn't go there, that you shouldn't do it, that you shouldn't contact this person, Trust me when I tell you, if you follow that internal instruction manual, your guides are going to give you everything and more. The world is going to be at your fingertips. The galaxies are going to be at your fingertips. You're going to be the master of 3D and 4D. So you'll be able to snap your fingers and conjure something out of thin air. That's truly how you become. You have an ability to become a reality bender. You can bend reality. You can slow down time. You can warp time. I can take 1 minute, a 1 minute video, and as I'm talking, I will stretch the time. And when you watch it, my 1 minute videos on Instagram, they feel like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. That's because I'm bending that time. Or you can, if you're having a really bad time with people, you can condense the time. Or you can just leave, right? But you can also take an hour and compress it to like 6 minutes. You have those abilities, but they await you on the other side of 3D and 4D. Thank you for that COP 5,000. That looks like a very nice number. I don't know if it's $5 or what it is, but it looks beautiful. And I've just alchemized it and turned it into a $5,000. So thank you for that COP. I don't know what that is. Copenhagen? Maybe? I don't know. Maybe. No, but I don't know. That wouldn't make sense because Copenhagen is a city in Denmark. Oh, wait. No, is it? I don't even know. All right, you guys. So when I'm in a channeling mode, you guys, I have an airhead quality, so I can't talk human. Just know that. The other video, I was like 4 times 8 is whatever, and it wasn't that at all, because I'm in a different pocket in my brain. So thank you, everyone, for being here. I love you, and don't self-sabotage. Don't self-sabotage. Love yourself enough to say enough. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It's helping my message circulate around YouTube. So I appreciate you subscribing. And wow, we had 979 people here tonight. I will see you in another version of the Now. And the White Wing Collective Consciousness of 9 are giving you tons of love. See you soon, guys.